The soft clinking of silverware and the low hum of conversation filled the upscale restaurant, creating an illusion of calm. But at table 5, the air was thick with tension. Clara sat across from Lucas, her heart racing as she sensed something was off. His smile was too wide, his eyes too cold. "Do you really think you can keep this a secret forever?" Lucas's voice cut through the air, sharp and mocking. The words hung between them, heavy with accusation. Clara's breath caught in her throat. What was he talking about? The surrounding tables seemed to fade away as the weight of Lucas's words pressed down on her. Clara felt a surge of anxiety, her mind racing to piece together the fragments of their recent interactions. Late nights at the office, missed calls, unexplained absences. They all now felt like pieces of a puzzle she hadn't realized were missing. "What are you talking about, Lucas?" Clara whispered, her voice barely audible over the sudden stillness that had enveloped the restaurant. She reached out, her hand trembling slightly as she clasped it over her heart, trying to steady her racing pulse. But Lucas leaned in closer, his expression twisted with disdain. "You know exactly what I mean. All those late nights, the missed calls? You think I wouldn't find out?" His words were like daggers, each one slicing deeper into the fragile trust that had once held their relationship together. Clara's mind raced, memories flashing before her. Moments of joy, laughter, and love that now seemed tainted by betrayal. She swallowed hard, trying to maintain her composure as the whispers of onlookers began to creep in. The restaurant, once a backdrop to their shared dreams, now felt like a stage spotlighting her perceived failings. "What did I do?" she managed to ask, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and confusion. Clara felt the heat rise to her cheeks, a blend of embarrassment and the sting of Lucas's accusations burning within her. Lucas's eyes bore into hers, unyielding and accusatory. "Don't play innocent, Clara. I saw the messages. I know about the meetings. How could you?" His frustration was palpable, his voice rising just enough to draw the attention of nearby diners. Clara felt exposed, every eye in the restaurant seemingly fixed upon her. The metaphorical walls closed in, and she struggled to find her footing amidst the emotional turmoil. Her thoughts were a whirlwind of denial and desperation, each one clashing with the reality Lucas was presenting. "Lucas, please," she pleaded, her voice breaking. "Let's talk about this somewhere private. We can work through whatever this is." But Lucas shook his head, his expression hardening. "No, Clara, it's too late for that. Everyone deserves to know the truth." He gestured dismissively towards the other diners, their curious and judgmental gazes making Clara feel like a spectacle. Clara's heart pounded in her chest as she struggled to process the accusations. The restaurant's ambience, once a comforting backdrop, now amplified her sense of vulnerability and fear. She took a deep breath, trying to gather her scattered thoughts, but the room seemed to spin around her. "Hey everyone, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that YouTube can understand and deliver more of our content to you." As Lucas continued to berate her, Clara's mind began to piece together the painful realization. Lucas had discovered her secret. The truth she had desperately tried to hide was now laid bare, and there was no turning back. Clara felt the restaurant's atmosphere shift palpably as Lucas's accusations hung in the air. The murmurs of other diners grew louder, their curious eyes fixed on the unfolding drama. She took a moment to steady herself, her mind racing to comprehend the situation. Was Lucas aware of her pregnancy? Had he suspected her secret? Or was there something more? As Clara gathered her thoughts, memories began to resurface. Late nights at work, missed calls from Lucas, and the overwhelming fear she had felt when she discovered she was pregnant. She had kept it hidden, unsure of how Lucas would react and fearing the judgment of others. The realization that Lucas now knew everything sent a wave of anxiety crashing over her. I'm pregnant, Lucas," Clara whispered, her voice barely audible. The confession felt like a weight lifted off her shoulders, yet the timing seemed agonizingly perfect for Lucas's confrontation. Lucas's expression softened momentarily, confusion flickering in his eyes before being replaced by a mix of shock and something else, perhaps regret. Pregnant? He echoed, his voice unsteady. You didn't tell me. Clara nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. I didn't know how. I was scared, Lucas. Scared of what this would mean for us. For me. The tension in the restaurant seemed to dissipate slightly as Lucas processed her revelation. Clara could see the internal conflict raging within him. Anger, sorrow, and a hint of remorse. He looked around, noticing the sympathetic gazes from other patrons, before turning his attention back to her. I'm sorry, Clara, he said softly, his voice tinged with genuine regret. I didn't realize. I should have been there for you. Clara felt a mixture of emotions. Relief that Lucas now understood the gravity of her situation, and sadness over the betrayal she had felt. It's not just about us anymore, Lucas. It's about our child, she replied, her voice steadier now that she had voiced the truth. Lucas took a deep breath, his shoulders slumping as he absorbed the reality of their situation. What do you want me to do? He asked, his tone earnest. I can help. I want to be a part of this. Clara hesitated, the wounds of their past making it difficult to trust his intentions. I need time to think, she said quietly. This is all so sudden. Lucas nodded, understanding the need for space. Take all the time you need. I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. As Lucas stood up and prepared to leave, Clara felt a sense of uncertainty settle over her. The path ahead was unclear, but one thing was certain. Her life was about to change in ways she had never imagined. She took a deep breath, gathering her composure as she faced the reality of impending motherhood. After Lucas departed, Clara remained seated for a few more moments, the weight of the revelation pressing down on her. The restaurant began to regain its usual ambience, the tension dissipating as other diners returned to their conversations. Clara knew she couldn't stay there any longer. She stood up, feeling a mixture of determination and fear as she made her way to the exit. Outside, the cool night air greeted her, offering a brief respite from the emotional storm inside. Clara walked slowly, her mind replaying the events of the evening. She realized that her secret was now out, and there was no going back. The journey ahead would be challenging, but she was resolved to face it head-on for the sake of her unborn child. As she walked down the quiet streets, Clara reflected on the choices that had led her to this point. The fear and uncertainty were now accompanied by a newfound sense of responsibility and hope. She knew she had to navigate the complexities of single motherhood, but the thought of holding her daughter in her arms filled her with a sense of purpose she had never felt before. Determined to build a stable future for Helena, Clara decided to reach out for support. She contacted a close friend, Maria, who had always been a pillar of strength in her life. Within hours, Maria arrived at Clara's apartment, bringing with her a sense of comfort and reassurance. Clara, I'm so sorry you're going through this, Maria said, embracing her tightly. But you're not alone. I'm here for you, every step of the way. Clara felt a surge of gratitude as she leaned into Maria's embrace. Thank you, Maria. I don't know how I would manage without you. Together, they began to discuss the practical steps Clara needed to take, scheduling medical appointments, exploring financial assistance programs, and creating a support network. Maria's presence was a reminder that despite the challenges ahead, Clara had people who cared about her and wanted to help. In the days that followed, Clara focused on preparing for Helena's arrival. She decorated the nursery with care, choosing soft colors and gentle decorations that would create a peaceful environment for her baby. Each decision, no matter how small, reinforced Clara's commitment to providing a loving and nurturing home. Meanwhile, Lucas grappled with his own emotions. He couldn't shake the image of Clara's tear-streaked face and the undeniable truth of their impending child. Determined to make amends, he sought counseling to address his past behavior and to better understand how to support Clara and Helena moving forward. Lucas reached out to a mutual friend for advice on how to approach Clara respectfully. He knew that rebuilding trust would take time and consistent effort. His initial attempts at communication were met with hesitation, but he remained patient, demonstrating through his actions that he was sincere in his desire to be a part of their lives. Clara, on her part, began to see small signs of Lucas's genuine remorse and commitment. His willingness to seek help and his steady presence offered her a glimmer of hope that perhaps their relationship could be mended for the sake of their daughter. However, she remained cautious, aware that healing would not come easily or quickly. As the weeks turned into months, Clara embraced her role as an expectant mother with resilience and grace. She attended prenatal classes, connected with other single mothers, and built a network of support that fortified her against the challenges she faced. Each day brought new lessons and moments of growth, shaping her into the strong and compassionate mother she was destined to become. Through it all, the bond between Clara and Maria deepened, providing a foundation of love and understanding that Clara could rely on. Together, they navigated the complexities of pregnancy, preparing for the arrival of Helena with a sense of anticipation and joy. Clara realized that while her journey was fraught with difficulties, it was also filled with moments of beauty and connection that made it all worthwhile. Weeks had passed since Clara's emotional confrontation with Lucas at the restaurant. The initial shock had given way to a semblance of routine, but the undercurrents of tension still lingered. Clara focused on preparing for Helena's arrival, immersing herself in the myriad tasks that came with impending motherhood. Each day brought new challenges, but also moments of unexpected joy. One evening, as Clara was organizing the nursery, Maria stopped by with a basket of baby clothes and some homemade meals. They settled on the living room floor, surrounded by pastel-colored blankets and tiny booties. "You're doing an amazing job, Clara," Maria said, her voice filled with admiration. "I know it hasn't been easy, but you're handling everything with such grace." Clara smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. "Thanks, Maria. It's been overwhelming at times, but knowing I have your support makes all the difference." As they chatted, Clara's phone buzzed with a message from Lucas. Her heart skipped a beat as she read his carefully worded note. "Hi, Clara. I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking a lot about us and Helena. If you're open to it, I'd like to meet and talk about how I can support you both. No pressure, just whenever you're ready." Clara stared at the screen, her mind racing. Part of her wanted to reach out, to believe in the possibility of rebuilding what they once had. Yet, the scars of betrayal made her hesitant. She decided to take things one step at a time, focusing on her own well-being and Helena's needs. Meanwhile, Lucas was grappling with his own set of emotions. Determined to make amends, he had taken concrete steps to prove his sincerity. He attended therapy sessions regularly, working through his anger and understanding the impact of his past actions. Each session left him feeling more grounded and committed to being a better person. Lucas also reached out to his family for support, something he had neglected during his relationship with Clara. His parents, though initially hesitant, saw his genuine efforts and began to offer guidance and assistance. They encouraged him to stay patient and consistent, understanding that trust needed to be rebuilt slowly. One sunny Saturday morning, Lucas decided to take a proactive approach. He visited the local community center, where he volunteered to help with after-school programs for children. Engaging with the kids brought a sense of fulfillment he hadn't felt in years. He saw it as a way to give back and demonstrate his commitment to being a positive influence. Back at Clara's apartment, Maria introduced her to a support group for single mothers. The group met every Thursday evening, providing a safe space for women to share their experiences and offer mutual support. Clara found solace in the stories of others who were navigating similar paths, feeling less isolated in her struggles. During one of these meetings, Clara met Laura, a single mother who had recently adopted a child. Laura's strength and resilience inspired Clara, showing her that it was possible to overcome adversity and build a loving family environment. Their friendship blossomed, adding another layer of support to Clara's life. As Clara and Maria worked together to prepare for Helena's arrival, Clara began to explore her passions outside of motherhood. She enrolled in an online graphic design course, something she had always been interested in but had never pursued. Balancing her studies with her responsibilities as a mother was challenging, but it gave her a sense of purpose and personal growth. One afternoon, while Clara was engrossed in her coursework, her phone rang. It was Maria, with news that Lucas had responded to her message. "Hi, Clara. I wanted to let you know that I've been attending therapy and volunteering at the community center. I understand if you're not ready to talk, but I'm here whenever you are. Clara took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of relief and apprehension. She appreciated Lucas's efforts and could see the genuine change in him. However, she knew that rebuilding trust would take time. For now, she chose to focus on her own journey, allowing the possibility of reconciliation to unfold naturally. As weeks turned into months, Clara embraced her role as an expectant mother with newfound confidence. She attended prenatal yoga classes, finding peace and strength in the physical and mental exercises. The connection she felt with Helena deepened, and she often found herself daydreaming about the future they would share. Lucas continued his path of self-improvement, maintaining his involvement at the community center and consistently attending therapy. His dedication did not go unnoticed by those around him, gradually changing the perception others had of him. Slowly but surely, he began to mend the broken pieces of his life, driven by the hope of being a part of Helena's world. One evening, Clara received another message from Lucas. "I'd like to meet and talk, even if it's just to listen. Let me know if you're open to it." Clara felt a surge of emotions: hope, fear, and uncertainty. She realized that while the journey ahead was still daunting, there was a possibility for healing and growth. She decided to take a small step forward, agreeing to meet Lucas at a neutral location, a quiet cafe she frequented with Maria. The day of their meeting arrived, and Clara felt a nervous excitement bubbling within her. Maria offered words of encouragement as they walked to the cafe together. "You're doing the right thing, Clara. Whatever happens, you're not alone," Maria assured her. Clara nodded, taking a deep breath as she entered the cafe. Lucas was already there, sitting at a corner table, his posture relaxed yet attentive. He stood up as she approached, a genuine smile replacing the tension of their past interactions. "Thank you for meeting me, Clara," Lucas began, his voice sincere. "I know I don't deserve it, but I want you to know that I'm committed to being a better person. For you and for Helena." Clara listened intently, seeing the earnestness in his eyes. It was a pivotal moment, marking the beginning of a tentative path toward reconciliation and mutual understanding. Both knew that the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but the shared love for their daughter provided a strong foundation to build upon. The cafe was a quiet haven, its soft lighting and gentle background music creating an atmosphere conducive to heartfelt conversations. Clara took a deep breath as she approached the table where Lucas sat, his demeanor calm and earnest. Maria gave her a reassuring nod from the doorway before settling into a nearby chair, offering silent support. "Thank you for meeting me, Clara," Lucas began, his voice steady. "I know things ended badly between us, and I take full responsibility for my actions. I've been doing a lot of thinking and working on myself, hoping to become someone worthy of being part of Helena's life." Clara listened, her emotions a tangled web of hope and caution. She glanced at Maria, who gave her an encouraging smile. Taking another deep breath, she responded, "Lucas, I appreciate you reaching out and the efforts you've made. It means a lot, but rebuilding trust isn't something that happens overnight." Lucas nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. "I completely agree. I don't expect things to change immediately. I just want to start by being honest and present, no matter how small the steps may be." They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of their shared history lingering in the air. Clara decided to take the first step, breaking the tension. "I've been attending support groups and working on my own strength as a single mother. It's been challenging, but I've also found a lot of support from friends like Maria and Laura." Lucas reached across the table, his gesture tentative yet sincere. "I want to be a part of that support system if you're open to it. Not to interfere, but to contribute positively to Helena's life and to help you in any way I can." Clara hesitated, then placed her hand over his. "I can see that you're making genuine changes, Lucas. Maybe we can start by establishing a better line of communication. For Helena's sake, we need to work together effectively." Lucas smiled, a mixture of relief and determination in his eyes. "I agree. Let's set up a regular time to talk about Helena's needs and how we can support each other. I want to ensure that she grows up in a loving and stable environment, As they continued their conversation, the initial barriers began to crumble. They discussed practical matters, medical appointments, financial planning, and setting up a shared calendar to coordinate their schedules. Each topic brought them closer, laying the groundwork for a cooperative co-parenting relationship. Over the next few weeks, Clara and Lucas adhered to their new communication routine. Their conversations were initially formal, focused solely on Helena's well-being, but gradually, they began to share more about their personal lives. Lucas opened up about his struggles and the progress he had made through therapy, while Clara shared her experiences and the challenges of balancing work and impending motherhood. One afternoon, as spring began to bloom outside Clara's apartment, Lucas stopped by to help set up the final touches in the nursery. Together, they arranged the crib, hung pictures on the walls, and organized baby supplies. The act of working side by side fostered a sense of camaraderie that had been missing for so long. "Look at this," Lucas said, holding up a mobile adorned with stars and moons. "I thought Helena might like it." Clara smiled, feeling a warmth she hadn't felt in years. "It's beautiful, Lucas." "Thank you." As they finished decorating, Clara felt a shift within herself. The resentment and hurt that once clouded her thoughts were gradually being replaced by a cautious optimism. She realized that while the past couldn't be changed, the future held the potential for healing and new beginnings. One evening, Maria invited Clara to a community event for expectant and new mothers. It was an opportunity for Clara to expand her support network and find additional resources. Lucas expressed interest in attending as well, wanting to show his continued commitment. At the event, Clara and Lucas interacted with other parents, sharing stories and advice. Lucas's presence was met with mixed reactions, but his genuine demeanor and willingness to help earned him a measure of acceptance. Clara observed the way he interacted with others, noting the positive changes in his behavior. After the event, Clara and Lucas walked home together under the canopy of twinkling stars. The conversation flowed effortlessly, touching on topics beyond Helena, hobbies, dreams, and personal growth. It was a stark contrast to the strained interactions of the past, and Clara found herself enjoying the simplicity of their renewed connection. "I never imagined we'd be having conversations like this again," Clara remarked softly. Lucas chuckled, a hint of nostalgia in his voice. "Neither did I, but I'm grateful for this second chance, Clara. For us and for Helena." Clara looked up at him, seeing the sincerity in his eyes. "It's going to take time, Lucas, but I'm willing to see where this goes, for Helena's sake." As they continued their walk, the weight of their past began to lift, replaced by a shared commitment to creating a better future. The seeds of trust were being sown, nurtured by mutual respect and the unwavering love they both felt for their daughter. Back at home, Clara felt a sense of peace settle over her. The journey ahead was still uncertain, but with Lucas by her side, there was a newfound strength she hadn't realized she possessed. She knew that challenges would arise, but she was ready to face them with resilience and the support of those who cared about her. As the months progressed, Clara and Lucas found themselves gradually slipping back into a rhythm that balanced their responsibilities and personal growth. The shared experiences of preparing for Helena's arrival and navigating the complexities of co-parenting had laid a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. One crisp autumn morning, Clara woke up to the sound of birds chirping outside her window. The nursery was almost complete, with every detail meticulously arranged to create a warm and welcoming space for Helena. She took a moment to admire their handiwork, feeling a swell of pride and anticipation. Lucas arrived a little later, carrying a basket of freshly baked muffins. "Thought you could use a little breakfast treat," he said with a hopeful smile. Clara smiled back, accepting the basket. "These are wonderful, Lucas." "Thank you." They sat together at the kitchen table, enjoying the quiet morning before the day's responsibilities began. The conversation flowed effortlessly, touching on everything from work challenges to personal aspirations. It was a stark contrast to the tension-filled interactions of the past, showcasing how far they had come in rebuilding their relationship. As Helena's due date approached, Clara and Lucas focused on creating a supportive environment. They attended prenatal classes together, learning about childbirth and infant care. These classes not only prepared them for parenthood, but also provided opportunities to strengthen their bond as co-parents. One evening, after a particularly insightful class on newborn care, Clara and Lucas took a walk in the nearby park. The vibrant colors of the fall foliage created a picturesque backdrop, and the cool breeze carried the scent of pine and earth. "I've been thinking," Lucas began, his tone thoughtful. "Once Helena is born, I want to be as involved as possible. Not just financially, but emotionally and physically too." Clara looked at him, appreciating his sincerity. "I appreciate that, Lucas. It means a lot to know you're committed to being there for Helena." Lucas nodded, his eyes reflecting determination. "I want to make sure she grows up knowing both her parents care deeply for her. I know I have a lot to prove, but I'm willing to put in the effort." Clara reached out, placing her hand on his shoulder. "We're in this together, Lucas. For Helena's sake, we need to support each other and communicate openly." Their shared commitment was evident in their actions. Lucas took on additional responsibilities at home, helping Clara with household chores and preparing for Helena's arrival. Clara, in turn, valued his presence and the stability he brought into their lives. One Saturday afternoon, as Clara was finalizing the last touches in the nursery, Lucas suggested they take a short trip to a nearby botanical garden. "I thought we could use some time to relax and enjoy the beauty around us," he proposed. Clara agreed, appreciating the opportunity to spend quality time together outside the confines of their daily routines. The botanical garden was a serene escape, with blooming flowers and tranquil pathways that invited reflection and conversation. As they walked hand in hand, Clara felt a sense of peace settle over her. The journey from betrayal and pain to understanding and cooperation had been arduous, but moments like these made it all worthwhile. "Do you ever think about the future, Lucas?" Clara asked, her voice soft. "All the time," he replied, gazing into the distance where the sun cast a golden hue over the garden. "I envision a life where Helena feels loved and supported by both of us. A life where we've put our differences aside for her happiness." Clara nodded, feeling a surge of hope. "I want that too, for Helena to have the best of both worlds." Their conversation was interrupted by the cheerful laughter of children playing nearby. Clara watched as a young mother guided her toddler through the maze of colorful blooms, and she couldn't help but feel inspired by the display of nurturing and love. As the day turned to dusk, Clara and Lucas found a quiet bench to sit and watch the sunset. The sky was painted in shades of orange, pink, and purple, reflecting the myriad emotions they had both experienced and overcome. "Thank you for being here, Lucas," Clara said, her voice filled with gratitude. "For everything you've done to make things right." Lucas squeezed her hand gently. "Thank you for giving me a chance. I know I don't deserve it, but I'm committed to being the father Helena needs." In that moment, the weight of their past seemed to lift, replaced by a shared vision of a brighter future. They sat together in comfortable silence, the setting sun symbolizing the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Back at home, preparations for Helena's arrival were in full swing. Clara balanced her online graphic design course with her job at the cafe, finding fulfillment in both her professional and personal life. Lucas, too, continued his path of self-improvement, attending workshops and engaging in activities that fostered his growth as a father and partner. One evening, as Clara reviewed her latest design project, she felt a gentle flutter in her belly. She smiled, feeling the undeniable bond growing stronger between her and Helena. The anticipation of meeting her daughter filled her with joy and determination. Lucas entered the apartment, holding a bouquet of wildflowers he had picked during his volunteer work at the community center. "Thought these might brighten up the nursery," he said, placing them on the table. Clara looked up, her eyes meeting his. "They're beautiful, Lucas." "Thank you." They stood together, the flowers a symbol of their blossoming relationship and the life they were about to welcome into the world. The challenges they had faced had only strengthened their resolve to create a loving and supportive environment for Helena. As the days grew shorter and the first hints of winter appeared, Clara and Lucas continued to build their lives together, always keeping Helena's well-being at the forefront. They celebrated small victories and navigated setbacks with grace and resilience, united by their common goal. One snowy evening, as they sat by the fireplace sipping hot cocoa, Clara reflected on their journey. "It's amazing how far we've come," she mused. "From that tense dinner to now, preparing to become parents together." Lucas nodded, his gaze warm and sincere. "I couldn't have done any of this without your strength and support, Clara. You inspire me every day." Clara reached out, taking his hand in hers. "We inspire each other, Lucas. For Helena's sake, we need to keep moving forward together." Their shared determination and unwavering love created a strong foundation for their new family. The lessons they had learned from their past mistakes guided them as they prepared to embrace the future with open hearts and minds. As winter settled in, Clara felt a sense of completeness envelop her. The challenges of single motherhood had transformed into a journey of shared growth and mutual support. With Lucas by her side, she was confident that they could overcome any obstacle and provide Helena with the loving home she deserved. The first snowfall brought with it the magic of new beginnings. Clara and Lucas watched as snowflakes gently blanketed the world outside, mirroring the fresh start they had forged together. The path ahead was still filled with uncertainties, but they faced it with hope, knowing that their love and commitment would guide them through. Helena's arrival was imminent, and the excitement was palpable. Clara and Lucas worked tirelessly to ensure everything was perfect, their collaborative efforts reflecting the harmony they had achieved. The anticipation of meeting their daughter filled their hearts with joy and anticipation, cementing the bond that had been rebuilt through patience, understanding, and unwavering dedication. Winter had fully settled in, painting the city with its serene blanket of snow. The days were shorter, and the nights longer, but inside Clara's apartment, warmth and anticipation filled the air. The nursery was now fully prepared, every detail meticulously arranged to welcome Helena. Soft lights cast a gentle glow, and the room was adorned with thoughtful touches that reflected the love and care both Clara and Lucas had invested. The night of Helena's birth arrived swiftly, bringing with it a whirlwind of emotions and activities. Clara felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as she prepared to bring her daughter into the world. Lucas was by her side throughout the entire process, his presence a steady source of support and reassurance. In the hospital room, Clara felt the intense waves of labor, each contraction bringing her closer to meeting Helena. Lucas held her hand tightly, whispering words of encouragement and love. Their journey had been long and fraught with challenges, but in this moment, all that mattered was the life they were about to welcome together. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the room was filled with the soft cries of a newborn. Clara gazed down at Helena, tears of joy streaming down her face as she held her daughter for the first time. Lucas leaned in, his eyes meeting Clara's, sharing a silent vow of commitment and love. "She's perfect," Clara whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. Lucas nodded, his heart swelling with pride and happiness. "Welcome to the world, Helena." As the days turned into weeks, Clara and Lucas embraced their new roles as parents with unwavering dedication. The initial exhaustion gave way to the joys and challenges of caring for a newborn. Sleepless nights were softened by the tender moments of holding Helena, watching her grow and thrive. Their relationship continued to evolve, grounded in the shared responsibility of parenthood. Clara found solace in Lucas's consistent presence, his efforts to be an involved and supportive father reinforcing the trust they had painstakingly rebuilt. They navigated diaper changes, feedings, and late-night consolations together, each task strengthening their bond. One chilly evening, as Clara rocked Helena to sleep, she reflected on the journey they had undertaken. The painful confrontation at the restaurant, the struggles of single motherhood, Lucas's path to redemption. All had led them to this moment of unity and love. Lucas entered the room quietly, sitting beside Clara on the couch. He wrapped an arm around her, their shoulders touching as they both gazed down at their sleeping daughter. "I can't believe how far we've come," he mused softly. Clara smiled, resting her head against his shoulder. "It's been a long road, but I'm grateful for every step, for your support, for your presence. For us," Lucas kissed the top of her head gently. "I'm grateful too," Helena has brought us closer in ways I never imagined. I want to continue being there for both of you, every step of the way." Their conversation was interrupted by Helena's soft giggles, a sound that filled the room with pure joy. Clara and Lucas shared a look of contentment, knowing that their efforts had created a loving and stable environment for their daughter. As the seasons changed, so did their lives. Clara continued to excel in her graphic design career, finding fulfillment in her work and pride in her accomplishments. Lucas, now a devoted father, balanced his responsibilities with newfound purpose and happiness. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and the gentle chaos that came with raising a child together. One spring afternoon, as flowers began to bloom outside their window, Clara and Lucas took Helena to the park. The vibrant colors and fresh air mirrored the growth and renewal in their lives. Watching Helena toddle around, discovering the world with wide-eyed wonder, they felt a profound sense of accomplishment and hope. Sitting on a bench, Clara looked at Lucas, her eyes reflecting the gratitude and love she felt. "We did it," she said softly. "We created something beautiful out of all the pain and struggles." Lucas squeezed her hand, his gaze steady and loving. "Yes, we did, and we'll keep building on it together." Their journey was far from over, and challenges would undoubtedly arise. Yet, armed with resilience, understanding, and an unbreakable bond, Clara and Lucas faced the future with optimism. They had learned that love, when nurtured with patience and dedication, could heal wounds and bridge even the deepest divides. One snowy evening, as they sat by the fireplace with Helena nestled between them, Clara reflected on the lessons they had learned. "Forgiveness isn't a one-time thing," she mused. "It's a continuous process, something we work on every day." Lucas nodded in agreement. "And it's worth every effort. For our sake, and especially for Helena's." In the quiet moments that followed, the family felt a sense of unity and peace. The hardships they had endured had forged a strong foundation, one built on trust, respect, and unwavering love. They knew that life would continue to present challenges, but together, they were ready to face them head-on. As the snowflakes danced outside, Clara felt a profound sense of gratitude. She had transformed from a woman burdened by fear and betrayal into a resilient mother empowered by love and support. Lucas had evolved from a man seeking redemption into a devoted partner and father, committed to building a better future. Helena's presence had been the catalyst for their transformation, bringing out the best in both Clara and Lucas. She was the living testament to their ability to overcome adversity and create something beautiful together. Watching her grow, they knew that their love and dedication would guide her through life, just as it had guided them through their darkest moments. The first anniversary of Helena's birth arrived, marked by a celebration filled with friends and family who had supported them along the way. As Clara and Lucas watched Helena play, surrounded by loved ones, they felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment and joy. Clara raised a glass in a toast, her voice filled with emotion. "To Helena, the light of our lives, and to the love that brought us all together." Lucas joined in, his eyes meeting Clara's with unwavering sincerity. "To new beginnings, to forgiveness, and to the family we've created together." As they clinked glasses, the room echoed with laughter and heartfelt congratulations. The journey had been long and challenging, but it had led them to a place of love, healing, and unity. Clara and Lucas knew that their story was just beginning, and with each passing day, they were committed to writing a future filled with endless possibilities and unwavering love. And we've reached the end of another story. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment telling us what you thought about it, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so that YouTube understands that you liked it and recommends more videos to you.